Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another winter vlog. My name is Trish, and you can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as Tie Dye Diva. You can also find me on Instagram as the_fiber tree, and that is where I share lots of content about journaling and paper planning. And so, if that's something that interests you, then you may want to give me a follow over there as well. If this is your first time here, then an extra special welcome to you and welcome to all of my returning viewers. This is just my space here on the internet where I share content about my love of making in all its forms. Primarily knitting, some sewing will be sprinkled in, as well as cooking or just whatever other things we've been doing here in our home and with our family. So, again, thank you for joining me for another episode. Today is Sunday, January the 7th, and it has been quite a while since I've been able to sit down and record and catch you up on what I've been up to these first few days of January. So, when I set out to do this series of vlogs, I didn't really have a schedule or anything particular in mind I wanted to record, with the exception of catching you up on the few things I like to do as I prepare for a new year. So, in previous vlogs, if this is your first time here, we have discussed my planning goals, the journals and notebooks I want to use in 2024. We've discussed our the make along that I'm participating in, along with Queen's Yarn Boutique, which is the year of the sweater make along, in which we will basically be knitting sweaters all year long, and just taking you into my little world and some of the things I like to do when it gets really cold and chilly. We've cooked a little bit, um, or at least I've taken you in my kitchen and showed you a few recipes that I really enjoy making. My husband and I enjoy making. And an entire week has gone by with no content. So I just figured I would just catch you up on what's been going on for the past week. So the beginning of the week started another week back at work. So um, I'd been off for 3 days for the New Year's holiday and the Saturday and Sunday before then. And work just kind of took over. Lots of projects to get caught up on, lots of new things to start the process on. And so that kept me really, really busy this week. But along the way, there were a couple of interesting things. I assisted a friend with a luncheon on Wednesday of this past week, and I made a zucchini bread, which did not turn out as well as I had anticipated. It was a bit on the dry side and not as sweet as I would have liked it to be. So I definitely want a do-over on that one. Let's see what else. Yesterday, I cooked a huge pot of vegetable soup, and I did take some video of that. So let me just walk you through the process of how I make my vegetable soup. So I always start out with fresh carrots, celery, and onions and olive oil. Then I added 2 bags of frozen mixed vegetables, one 32-ounce can of San Marzano chopped tomatoes, 2 cartons of beef stock. To that vegetable mixture, there was also about 2 cups of chopped potatoes. Give that a good stir. Then I add in some Worcestershire sauce, along with my mound of seasoning. It just depends on what I'm in the mood for. I also added some liquid smoke, And there you can see my mound of seasoning. I don't season until the end because I want to see how much flavor the vegetables are going to give off. I also added 1 extra can of corn and 1 bag of sliced okra, which I know a lot of people don't like okra, but it really, really helps with the thickening process. But you don't have to add it. So I hope you enjoyed that. So many people ask me when I post recipes on Instagram about some of the recipes I've posted here on this winter vlog. I'm really not one to follow a recipe to the T. I kind of like to get the concept of what the recipe is supposed to be, and then I will kind of add my own spin on it. But a couple of things um, I do want to write up so that you will have access to it. So bear with me, be patient with me with that, and I will get those out to you as soon as possible. So I had to delete a little bit of footage as I was getting quite a bit of feedback from the microphone. But basically, I am now about to share with you what I'm wearing. The Saturday Shrug is a ribbed tube, and it's a blank slate. You can do stripes, you can do a solid. Um, I chose a variety of DK and worsted weights, and I held it with matching mohair, which gives it a super lofty and soft and fluffy appearance, and it's amazingly warm. So I've been wearing this quite a bit. So how are you guys doing? Have you started a sweater yet for the year of the sweater make along? Let me know in the comments below, or what other projects you're working on that's bringing you lots of joy. I will share with you the progress I've made on my sweater. So the very first sweater I'm casting on, or that I did cast on for the make along, is the Wave of Change jacket. And this is a pattern by Denise Bayron of Bayron Handmade. And this is the progress I have on my sweater thus far. So it is a top down sweater, and it is knit in a bulky weight yarn on US 10 needles, and the ribbing is done on a US 9 needle. This pattern also features ridges of garter stitch, these horizontal ridges of garter stitch. You can see mine here. I do have an unintentional design element on my sweater because I was enjoying working on this so much. I forgot to do the first set of, or the first line of garter ridge. There should be another garter ridge right here. And I think I'd gotten all the way to about here before I realized it, and I just was not willing to unknit. And I think it's going to be fine. I've even toyed with the idea of doing some embroidery here on either side. So let me know what you think about that, if you think that will work out. So the yarn that I'm using is from Hugh and Me. Or I should say it's actually a Lion brand yarn. I think I said the name of this yarn incorrectly when I first talked about it here. So I'm realizing I don't have my glasses, so bear with me here. So basically, this is the name of the yarn is Hugh and Me. And this is a collaboration with Two of Wands, and it is actually a Lion brand yarn. I purchased this from Joann's craft store in the US. This yarn is considered a bulky weight. It's 137 yards per skein, and it's again classified as a number 5 weight, and it is 80% acrylic, 20% wool. So this is what it looks like in the ball. It's really soft. It's actually a really lovely yarn, and it's knitting up actually at a larger gauge than the pattern calls for. So I will definitely be going down a size or two. As a matter of fact, I'm not going to go any further. I think I'm going to do one more garter ridge, but I won't go any further in the increases until I've had a chance to try this on, because I think I'm really, really close to where I need to be before I separate for the sleeves. So yeah, that's where I am with this project. I did have a slight illness flare this week, and a couple of days where I just did not feel up to knitting, and I even had a lot of pain in my right hand, which fortunately is getting better. So I would have been a lot further along on this project had it not been for that. But I'm very pleased with the progress I've made thus far. So yes, and the needles I'm using are, I think, I think these are Knitter's Pride. I opted for a wooden needle. Since this is a bulky weight yarn, I just felt like I needed that extra control and that extra grip with the wooden needle, and these are working out really, really well. So, and this pretty much stays here with me in the house. I don't think this is a project I'm going to take on the go because it's already pretty large and the balls of yarn are also pretty large. But I do have it sitting in this handy little tote. This is a Coco knits, and I believe it's called, is it just a knitting bin? Basically, it's made of a really sturdy wax canvas. And if I wanted to, I could fold this down, but I just love how sturdy it is. These are very affordable as well, and it can hold a pretty large project. And it also doesn't look too bad if I just sit it on the floor in the living room. It doesn't look cluttered or junky or anything. So really enjoying working my pattern out of this knitting bin here from Coco Knits. So besides making progress on my patterns, I've also been participating in Junk Journal January, and that is a collaboration between Meg's Journals as well as, I'm thinking, Get Messy Art. I'm going to link to all of these things in the show notes, but I've really been enjoying working in my junk journal that I created. Here it is right here. I'm pretty sure I showed this to you on a previous vlog. So here it is, and here's just a preview of some of the pages I've done in my journal. I will definitely do a separate video at the end of the month so that you can see more detail. So I kind of stopped here at this page here because this was when I started feeling not my best. So it's been a couple of days since I've worked in here, but that is my plan for today, to get lots of traction in my junk journal. I've also been doing really well with keeping up with my daily pages in my Hobonichi cousin. No, actually, this is not the Hobonichi cousin. This is the original Hobonichi. The Hobonichi cousin is more of an A5 size, and this is my Hobonichi original journal that I've been using the past few days. And I'm really loving, I'm really, really loving the size of these pages. It's like just enough space for me to do the things I want to do. Again, I will probably post a video early next week once I have the rest of my pages filled out. So I've got 3 more pages to do to get caught up for this week so that I can start fresh tomorrow. And I thought it would be nice for you to watch me create a page in both my Hobonichi planner and my junk journal. So there is one other project I want to share with you today, and that is a finished object of my On the Road Again hat. It is completed. It is absolutely lovely and fabulous, and the camera just doesn't do it justice when it comes to these sparkles. I think you can see better if I hold it away from the light because the sparkles are competing for the light, but it's absolutely lovely. I'm going to try it on even though I have big hair today. So that's the way it looks on. So I absolutely love this hat. I would love to wind yarn this evening to start another one of these this week. This is, for me, it's just the perfect hat. It's oversized, it's slouchy. If my hair is a little flatter, if I decide to style it flatter, I can wear it with it that way. Or if it's kind of thick and poofy, the way I have it today, it works. It's big enough so that I can slouch it over to the side if I wanted to. I could put a pin on either side if I wanted to. I think this style would work much better if my hair was flatter, but I just love an oversized hat. So so very so very happy to have this done, and again, I would love to cast on another one before the day is out. If not today, then tomorrow, which will be Monday. So before I close out, I do have a couple of really fun acquisitions I want to share with you. So a few weeks back, I decided to treat myself to a new needle set. I had already been thinking about purchasing a new set of interchangeable needles, but I wasn't quite sure which ones I wanted. And then I was on Instagram one evening, and Gigi of Gigi Made It, a Gay Gillespie, shared this set of needles, which was a collaboration with Knitter's Pride. I want to say, if that is incorrect, I'm going to put it on the screen, but I'm almost sure this was a collaboration with Knitter's Pride. And it is a collection of knitting needles and crochet hooks. So here it is. So these are the knitting needles, and it starts at a US 4 all the way up to a US 13, which is amazing. And then if you flip it over once, there are the crochet hooks. They are embellished with this beautiful orange wood. It is a really, really pretty set. The camera isn't doing it justice, and it comes in this beautiful orange velvet bag. This pocket here in the front has all the cables and the cords and the stoppers. And there's even an extra pocket on the back that can be used for notions. And then it is all contained in this little case. This was a limited run, so I don't know if these will come back again, but definitely check out Jimmy Bean's Wool as well as Gigi on Instagram, because if it does come back, that will be the first place that you would know about it. So very excited about this. Cannot wait to use these. And then the other thing is that I decided to sign back up again for the Farmer's Daughter Sock Squad. And as with at the beginning of every year, you receive some sort of calendar. That has been the case for the past couple of years. But this year they did something different. They included a Sock Squad knitting journal. The cover is absolutely beautiful. And the journal is just a place for you to keep your progress as you knit these yarns from the sock squad. And for every color, there's a page for you to do some journaling. So because I already have a craft journal, I'm toying with other ways that I can use this journal. I absolutely love the art that is featured. So I could deconstruct this and tear this up and put it in my existing journals. So we'll see. We shall see. I could also, because remember for my craft journal, I do have pages that I will be using for each project. So I could easily tear these out and tip these into my craft journal, because my craft journal is bigger than these pages. So that is a possibility. And even if I decide not to do socks with the yarn, I can still use these pages to describe what project I did with the yarn. So without further delay, I will share with you the first color of the 2024 Farmer's Daughter Sock Squad. There it is. How lovely is this? So it's this, it kind of, the best way I would describe this is as like a pistachio green with some brown speckles. It's really, really lovely. I've been really drawn to these colors here lately. If you look at some of my recent finished objects, you will definitely see that I have been drawn to these colors. These light blues and light icy bluish greens. And it also came with a mini for heels, toes, and cuffs, should you desire to do so. But the real beauty in this is this yarn base is really, really lovely. And I think this yarn base is new to Farmer's Daughter. It is called the Bighorn Sock, and it is a 75-25 merino nylon blend, 463 yards, and the color is Love Good. So I don't know, can you see the twist on this? It's got a really, really nice twist, and it's really soft. The microns are on here. It says 19.5 micron, which I think is what's making this so, so soft. And the mini is out of the same base. So I do have another pair of socks on the needles that I really want to get finished, and would love to get these cast on immediately. This would also be lovely for a shawl or a shawlette. So I've got some decisions to do, but I don't want these skeins to languish like some of them have in the past. And I even have plans for a sweater for some of the ones I collected from previous sock squads. So I think that's all I have to share with you today. This week coming up, I expect to be just as busy as last week with work tasks. But I do have some other errands I need to run this week as well. And hopefully today I can sit down and do some meal planning for the week, and with the hopes of taking you in the kitchen again for the next vlog. So I would really love to know what your thoughts are about videos of this style, where I'm more so taking you into not just knitting and crocheting, but other things I'm doing, like running errands and other things I do on the weekend with the family, mixed in with the crafts, which is what I consider to be a vlog, like a daily vlog. So let me know what your thoughts are, or do you prefer just the traditional podcast where I'm just sitting and talking about the things I'm working on? I enjoy both formats, but I really want to know what your thoughts are. I do think that with this style of videoing, um, I kind of feel that it's easier to produce content. So with the traditional podcast where I'm just sitting and talking about the things I'm working on, it's more thought out and it requires a little bit more preparation. Whereas if I just take little snippets of video throughout the week and then put them together every few days or so, it seems to be a little easier. So just what are your thoughts? Um, I think going forward, I would like to get back to my traditional way of podcasting, but with a little bit of vlogging mixed in. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But in any event, thank you so much for joining me for another episode, and I will see you again in the next video.